Mr. President, Senator Durbin has been leading a group of us talking about DACA, or the Dreamers. I want to tell the Senate two stories. I want to tell you about Elisha Dawkins. He was a baby that was brought from the Bahamas at age 6 months. He grew up in America. He grew up in Jacksonville, in my state. Never knew anything about his roots, only knew that he was an American. Served 2 tours in Iraq. Came back, joined the Navy Reserves, had a top secret clearance, was sent to the very sensitive post of Guantanamo, where he was given the job as a photographer. Obviously, a very sensitive position. And through an application for a passport, in the checking on the background of a passport, it came to be learned that he had come to America as an infant. And for what reason, for the life of me, it has not been explained, but he was arrested and thrown in jail by a U.S. attorney. Once this case came to the light of day, and some of us started speaking out about it, a federal district judge took it in her hands to lecture the U.S. attorney, and only because of that was Elisha Dawkins released from jail. And as a result, then we started getting into it, and Elisha Dawkins was finally given his citizenship, and he is now serving in his native Jacksonville, and he is a nurse. Now, here's a child that had served 2 tours in Iraq and was in a top secret clearance in the service to the Navy Reserves in Guantanamo. This just shouldn't happen. Individuals in good faith have gone about carrying on, some not even knowing, as Elisha certainly didn't know, of his undocumented status. But now we have many others. These individuals in good faith have divulged personal information to the Department of Homeland Security that could eventually deport them. And that's why it's critical that we pass the DREAM Act as soon as possible. I've heard from DACA recipients from all around the country, but especially I've heard from a lot of them, of the 30,000 that are in the state of Florida. I've heard from DACA recipients that are valedictorians, that are medical students, even priests. Many are the primary breadwinners for their families. Senator Durbin has already highlighted some of my constituents over the years, including Christina Velasquez, a graduate of Miami-Dade Community College, who will soon graduate from Georgetown University and fulfill her dream of becoming a teacher for Teach for America. Christina came to America at age 6 from Venezuela, a country whose problems you and I have, Senator Durbin and I, but also the presiding senator today, have consistently been concerned about the plight of Venezuela. And so if we failed to pass the DREAM Act, are we saying that we are going to send Cristina back to the Maduro dictatorship in Venezuela? A dictatorship that can't even provide the basic staples to its citizens? Are we going to allow this young lady who only grew up thinking she was an American, now graduating from Georgetown, and allow her to channel her skills and her passion toward bettering our communities in need as a teacher? It doesn't make any sense to send these kids, to deport them. The contributions that dreamers have made are countless, and Cristina and Elisha are just two examples. These dreamers will continue to better our communities if only we would pass the legislation that Senator Durbin is sponsoring and many of us are co-sponsoring. And so, rhetorically, this was going to be a time of question and answers, but Senator Durbin allowed me to kick off this session, and I see that we have many other senators to speak. So, Mr. President, I will yield the floor.